Hi, I'm Carl. I'm here to discuss about search algorithm. But first, what is searching algorithm is? In order to seek or find one or more element from a dataset, search algorithms are utilized. These algorithms are used to find elements from a given set of data structures. There are two different kinds of search algorithm. The first is a sequential search method, which traverses an array's list sequentially while checking each element. An example of this is a linear search. The following category of search algorithm in interval search, which is created especially for searching in sorted data structures. Binary search is an instance, so I'll write some sample code to go over in this video. Then let's get to coding. After creating the Java project, we imported a scanner library. Then, we created a static scanner object with a name of sc. This scanner will be used to scan the data that the user inputted and store it to the variables that it needed to be stored. Then we will create int variable rsize. This is where the size of the array will be stored. Then we prompted the user to input the size of the array. Then rsize is equal to n.next int will store to the imputed value by the user to rsize variables. Then we create array int r is equal to new int rsize. Then we prompted the user to enter elements for the array. Then we created a for loop so the user can input element and store it in the array. Then we prompted the user a value to be searched in the array. Then ask the user if the array is sorted or not, then store their answer in a char sort variable. Enter y if it is sorted and if not sorted. Then we created two variables, the car search type. This is where the answer of the user in what type of search they want to do will be stored. Then we created a switch statement for the decision process. Switch sort. This will get the data inside the sort variable and compare it with the cases in the switch statement. If case y, it will output a menu of the search type they can do. Then ask the user what is their choice and store their choice in the search type variable. Then we created another switch statement. Switch search type. This will get the data inside the search type variable and compare it with the cases inside the switch statement. If search type is A, it will execute the case A inside the case result is equal to linear search R and search. This will call the linear search method and pass the R and search variable. It will become the parameters for the linear search method. Inside the linear search method, we created an int variable with a name of n and initialized it to r that length. Then we created for loop, then test if I less than n. If true, it will execute what is inside the for loop. If true, it will test if ri is equal to x. X has the data of the search variable. If ri is equal to x is true, x is true, it will return I is the index of the element that is equal to x. After return I, we return to case A. After calling the linear search break is executed, it will stop executing the switch statement. Then it will proceed to execute the codes after the switch statement. If search type is B, it will execute the case B. Inside this case, result is equal to binary search R and search. This will call the binary search method. Inside the binary search method, we created int L variable and initialized it to 0. This will be the lowest index of our array. Then int fsdacr variable and initialize to r.length -1. This will be the highest index in the array. Then we created while loop. The condition to execute the while loop is L less than equals to R. If this is true, it will execute the codes inside. Inside the while loop, we created int variable m and initialized it to L plus R minus L divide 2. This will find the middle index of the array. Then test if rm is equals to x. If true, it will directly return the current value of m. If false, it will proceed to execute the next if statement. If rm is less than x, it will initialize L to m plus 1. M plus 1 will increment m by 1. If false, it will initialize R to m minus 1. M minus 1 will decrement the value of m by 1. Then repeat the iteration. If the condition of while statement is true, then return -1. If the value of the user is searching in the array is not present in the current array, then back to case B. Then after calling the binary search break is executed, it will stop in executing the switch statement. Then it will proceed to execute the codes after the switch statement. After executing the switch search type break is executed, and it will proceed to execute the code after the switch statement. But if in switch sort case is n, it will output a menu of the search type they can do. Then ask the user what is their choices and store their choice in their search type variable. Then we created a do while statement. The while condition is search type is equals to B. If true, it will continue to execute the do while statement. Inside this do while statement, it will ask the user to enter their choice in the type of search they want to do. Then store it in a search type variable. Then we created another switch statement inside the case N. If search type is A, it will execute the case A. Inside this case result is equal to linear search R and search. This will call the linear search method and pass the R and search variable. It will become the parameters for the linear search method. Inside the linear search method, we created an int variable with a name of n and initialized it to r that length. Then we created for loop, then test if less than n. If true, it will execute what is inside the for loop. If true, it will test if ri is equals to x, then x has the data of the search variable. If ri is equals to x is true, and it will return I. I is the index of the element that is equal to x. After return I, we return to case A. After calling the linear search break is executed. It will stop in executing the switch statement, then it will proceed to execute the codes after the switch statement. If search type is B, it will execute the case B. This case will output binary search. Is not applicable because the array is unsorted. Since binary search is only applicable to sorted array, since the user enter n when asked if the array is sorted or not, then the user will be asked again until the user inputted at A to execute the case A. After executing, the do while statement break is executed, then we proceed to execute the remaining code. But if the user enter a different character other than y or n, if asked if the array is sorted or not, it will execute the default in the switch statement. Inside this default, it will output invalid character y or n only, y or n only, then break. After the switch statement, we proceed to output the elements of the array. To output the elements in the array, we created a for loop. As long as the condition is not false, it will continue the iteration inside this for loop system that print r I kani siya kani. Yeah. This will output the elements in the array. After the for loop, we test if result is equals to -1. If true, it will output element not found. This means that the element that user is searching is not present in the array. If result is equals to -1 is false, if result is equals to -1 is false, else will be executed inside this else. The value that you search for is in index and location. Kani siya kani result of the array. Kani siya na is the index of the element that user is searching. Then thank you for this program will be output. I will be the output. Thank you.